all up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do.
Welcome back to our channel. It's Brielle and Seth, and we're back again with the Hollywood reviews. Today, tonight, right now, at this moment, we are going to be reviewing the late, great Nipsey Hussle's album, Victory Lap. We will be reviewing this album today because it is the anniversary. This album was released February 16th. So in honor of Nick, we're going to review this album. So let's go.
Yeah, this is another request from one of our subscribers. And honestly, this album's really been like on my to-do list for a while, but honestly, I haven't listened to it like fully until this past week, basically. And that's not really because like I don't know. I just didn't kind of didn't want to be like on the hype train kind of. Because I know like a lot of people. I did know some real Nipsey Hussle fans before he passed, and some real people that like actively listened to him. But a lot of people came out afterwards, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. If you just start listening to somebody's music just because they passed, and you like it, then you like it. Like don't feel no type of way. But I just didn't want to seem like one of those people, so I kind of didn't listen to it until about a week ago, and ready to give a full review now on this album. I'm going to be reviewing it using 5 different criteria. First is going to be lyrics. Second is going to be production. Third is going to be vocals. Fourth is going to be rhythm and flow. And fifth is going to be replay value. Do you want to start off?
I thought that was... For lyrics, I gave Nipsey a 10.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot.
I felt like... I just felt like it was a lot of content on this album. I feel like he touched a lot of bases. Like it was songs where, like it wasn't like too conscious, but then it was like wasn't like too trappy. Like you know what I mean? Like it had elements of everything, but you could tell he was telling stuff true to himself, and it seemed like he was just like it was very conversational to me. And I also felt like just by listening to the album, because I didn't listen to Nipsey Hussle before he passed, and I didn't want to just dive right into it right away. Like it was certain songs I didn't know, but I didn't want to just dive right into it right away, because like you said, I didn't want to just be like, But I felt like you can get bits and pieces of his personality from his music, and for me, that's what it's all about. And then I just typically kind of love California rappers in general, because I just like the way that they rap. Like I feel like they be having more so a lot to say. I don't want to say more than East Coast rappers, but I feel like they have more storytelling ability than the East Coast rappers. But not to say, I mean, I'm more so now because Biggie was an exceptional storyteller. He was from the East Coast, but I just feel like
there's other good ones out there, but it's just
I just feel like for now the East Coast is giving us more of that. I mean, I'm sorry, the West Coast is giving us more of that, and the East Coast is kind of giving us more like the party songs or whatever. But they're giving us more like actual like. I don't want to say lyricism because it's, you know what I mean.
Right.
It's just a different style of rap that I typically gravitate to, so I gave it a 10.
Don't forget about that shot.
No, you're supposed to take that because it's the opposite.
Okay, well for lyrics, I gave it a 10 also.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot.
Can you tell us why?
Sure. Can you drink your shot?
No, you need to complete the category
Oh my
first.
God. All right. For lyrics, I gave it a 10. The lyrics on here are great. It's not much filler on here. Like every song has some type of message in it or some type of even if it's not like a full story, it's some type of message or some type of
it's something to think about.
Something that he was trying to get through to like whoever was listening to it. He started off with Victory Lap. And that song he's talking really just like kind of just like talking this shit, like basically like talking about what he's accomplished and what he's done. And then he like ends it with the classic line, like basically talking about like, yo, if you ain't from the street, if you ain't rise above like how I did, the fuck I want to hear your CD for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we ain't got nothing in common. Like, what you talking about? We ain't talking about the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? And then he goes on to the next song, Rap Niggas. Same thing. He expands on that bar, basically, like, and talks about like how he ain't really got much in common with a lot of these rappers who basically came up off a good song or something. Like, he really grinded his way up from being a full-time street nigga to rapping, and then trying to get that rapping shit popping and getting it popping, and then basically investing his money and spending his money wisely. Even in the song, he talks about how he's more financially stable and smarter than other rappers in that song. And then Young Nigga, he slows down the beat a little bit compared to the other songs, but still good message in that. Dedication. He talks about ownership of his music, which is a big topic nowadays and something that a lot of rappers can't rap about and say that they got ownership of their music because they don't. Simply because they don't. Hussle Motivate, of course. He talks about the street life and basically how he the sacrifices that he's made to basically get to the point that he's at in his life at the time. Succa Proof talks about basically the fake gangsters, like the ones who become a rapper or they become a singer and they're very popular, they got a lot of money, and then they say, yo, whoopie whoop, like I'm a blood. Like, no, like he like, nah, don't do that. Like, y'all niggas, y'all can come here and y'all can act that way and somebody gonna extort you for a check, but at the same time, nobody never gonna respect you the way that they gonna respect me, basically. Like, yeah, so I mean, there's more lyrics on the album, and there are more songs about other shit.
It's a ton of lyrics. But
I don't want to, I didn't want to get too deep into it as far as the lyrics. I gave it a 10. If you heard the album, you know why. For production instrumental, what'd you give it? Can you drink the shot now? I was trying to what's the name?
Wait, hold up.
Oh my God, yo.
Wait.
I was trying to toast at you. No?
I need a chase.
No, you got your wine.
Yo. No. You don't need a chase.
Yes, I do.
You acting like a bitch.
Give me that. Nope. I'm acting like a bitch. Nope. Thank you. The longer you keep it in your mouth, the longer it's gonna burn. Nope.
This tastes like pure liquor anyway.
See? Stay in your lane.
Ooh. Okay, let me stay in my lane. What?
Production instrumental.
I didn't know you introduced it yet. I'm sorry. So aggressive. Oh. For production and instrumental, I gave it a 9.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Oh my God. Why do you play?
I gave it a 10 because I ain't
Everything litty, I love when it's hot.
Okay.
But like I said, typically this is the sound that I like. I like music, West Coast music. It was giving me West Coast beats, but it was also giving me.
Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if y'all fuck with Nip and y'all miss Nip and y'all love Nip, y'all should be taking these shots with us every time these
Well, you
sets
should
come
have told
out.
them to get
I'm
their
just letting you know.
bottle in the beginning of the
So
video.
yeah, go get your bottle now.
Rewind it
whatever.
and then put it back in.
Right. All right, I'm sorry for interrupting you with production instrumental.
You're not, but
I am.
what else you saying?
We'll get into that later.
Okay. I'm not gonna forget. For production and instrumental, I gave it a 10, like I said, because this is the sound. This is the sound. This is the sound that I love. Like, this is, to me, it was just like, I felt like I was in Crenshaw or something. I feel like it was nice out. I was riding around. Like, it just put me in, like, that vibe. I feel like the beats combined with the content, it really takes you to a place. And just even like what he said, it just it's like relatable. Like you feel like it's motivational. I like rap that's motivational. Like I could put this on.
Motivation.
I'm not no gangster. I'm a nurse, but this had me in there.
Think he is a gangster.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm gonna get out this trap one day. I'm not struggling, but still, I'm not rich. So it made me still feel like motivated. So I just love stuff like this. And I feel like even though it's a California sound, I feel like it was still diverse. Like I didn't feel like it was one dimensional at all. I still feel like it was very well rounded. I just thought the beats was lit. Who produced? It was, I'm pretty sure it was a couple different people.
I'm gonna go and do a little
research. It was a well produced album, I felt like. What did you give it? It's on you, because I give it a 10. You give it a 10?
For
you did not give it a 10.
Instrumental, I gave it a 10.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot.
Listen, man, this CD got all the beats on here are really good.
All of
and then he does a good job mixing it up too. He has more slower, like mellow beats such as like Young Nigga Dedication, Victory Lap, where like it's just like a little slower, a little bit on the boom bap side where like he can slow down his flow and everything on it, and you can hear every bar. And then he got like traditional like West Coast sound songs too, like Rap Niggas, Last Time That I Checked, Status Symbol. I feel like on Keys to the City, when he changes up the beat at the end, that was a great transition. And
it was.
Hussle and Motivate. I feel like Hussle and Motivate and Young Nigga were both like, they sound more. I know Hussle Motivate is a sample of Hard Knock Life, but
that was a
good sample. Like it wasn't like it didn't take over the song like to the point where you were thinking too much about like Hard Knock Life and the message of that. It was more sped up and it just sounded. Now I'm not gonna say it sounded better, but it sounded really good. And it didn't sound like he was trying to be cheesy with it, like, and just kind of still Jay-Z sound. Like it was a whole new sound, but like a sample of another beat. But again, on Hussle and Motivate and then Young Nigga, I feel like both of those songs sounded more like East Coast, like a traditional East Coast beat, and I feel like he did great on those. So it's the beats are great on here. What more can I say? 10. What's funny?
You are funny.
Go ahead. Drink up. Drink up, gangster. It ain't shit to
That's mine.
It ain't shit to a real nigga.
You gonna call yourself a nigga like that? I thought you was a king. You're a real nigga. God, bro.
You said it tastes just like liquor.
It do, but it's better than nothing. I need something to cut it.
Cut it. Remember when Seth used to think that?
I don't know what the fuck you be saying now.
Right. Vocals. Next category is
Vocals. For vocals, I gave it a 9.
Okay. Care explain why?
I did.
You did care? Does that mean you don't want to explain?
No, I gave it a 9. I felt like I understood everything he said. His voice was clear. It was crisp. It was not a time where I was like, wait, what? Only like where I wanted to go back and make sure I understood the actual message of what he was saying, not because I didn't understand the words. Like, yeah, exactly. And then I feel like his vocabulary is good. Like, he had a
smart dude.
Right. He had a good vocabulary. Like, I like rappers like him. Kendrick Lamar have a good vocabulary. Jay-Z, he used a lot of good words too. So I gave it a 9.
Alright.
He's not a singer, so
for vocals,
and he didn't try to sing.
No,
so.
he sung.
I know, but it didn't
for
sound
vocals
bad.
On.
Well, I don't think it sounded.
I gave it a 9 also. I thought his vocals were good too. Just like when he did try to sing on dedication. At the end, dedication. He started singing, but I think he sounded good. Like, I mean, he didn't use a bunch of auto tune to the point where it sounded like a whole different person, and then he didn't overdo it either at the same time. So I didn't really take all points for that. I kind of gave him more points for that because he kind of sung where it needed to be sung, but then when it was parts where he knew he couldn't hit that vocal range, he got somebody on the song
that he kept it contained.
Right.
Like, he didn't.
He got someone on the song that was able to hit that range with no problem, and it sounded great on songs such as like Victory Lap. The chick on there, she sounds great. Like,
I don't know who that was.
What else?
Marsha Ambrose.
Yeah, that song. Yeah, she sounded great on there. So
she always sounds amazing.
Yeah, I gave the lyrics a 9.
The vocals.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the vocals. I gave the vocals a 9.
Litty like a titty.
I gave the vocals a 9. On to rhythm and flow. What'd you get for rhythm and flow?
6.
Care to explain why?
No, I gave it a 6 plus 4.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot.
There you go.
I gave it a 10. I'm about to stop giving people 10s on the strength of the fact that I work 8 to 5 p.m. job. And it's a weekday, and I got things to do.
It's not a weekday.
I'm not
it's
trying
Sunday.
to be up all night doing the floor with you.
It's Sunday.
Today's Sunday?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, for rhythm and flow, I gave it a 10. I mean, come on. Come on. Like, what else can you give it? What else can you give it? Well, for me, I felt like I was just vibing the whole time. I felt like his flow wasn't one-dimensional, which I can't deal with that. And I feel like based on the vocabulary that he uses, I feel like it's an art to do that. Like, most people would throw like nigga in somewhere real quick, or like, which, you know, I like that type of music too, but I feel like with him, like,
go down some songs.
Yeah, but
like we're in the bar with nigga every time, but like, you know.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was like, you know, or like he was just throwing out empty words, or like, I actually felt like the bars
they qualified for a nigga.
Yes,
like
yes. I don't feel like he was using it as a filler, like,
it felt
type of thing.
Like it made it feel. You felt the bar more.
Right. He wasn't using fillers.
It sounded like he was actually talking to you or talking to somebody.
Right. For him to use certain words at certain places that actually fit in with what he was saying, I felt like it's an art to that, and a lot of people can't do it. So they just use a filler or something to throw it in there, or an ad lib. But I felt like he was actually like using vocabulary and making it fit into what he was trying to say, and it made sense every time. So I give it a 10.
All right, for the flow, I gave it a 10 also. And I mean, it's mainly his flow is one of a kind. Honestly, since he died, people have been trying to copy it. Some people have been trying to copy it or either sound similar to it. And that says a lot. just the fact that nobody was doing it before him or sound like him, and then they all try to sound like him once he was gone. So, well, not all, but you know, to replay value. But before you get your score for that,
you Joe.
what? No, you supposed. Let's get him out the way before. You never know. You could get another 10 for replay value. So you know, I'm saying he could get a 10. If you get a 10 from me, you have to do another shot.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. So let's get these out the way so the cup is nice and empty, just in case.
It's not.
Come on. All right, you don't want to toast again, man.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. Don't drink all of it.
All right.
That's the shots.
All right. On to replay value. What you get for replay value?
A 9.
A 9?
Mm-hmm.
A 9.
Sorry, my throat is burning.
Do you want to explain?
Yeah, my throat is burning.
All right. Well, I will move.
So, no. I gave replay value a 9. I gave it a 9 because I want to listen to this. The way that I want to listen to this is not going to be convenient because I want to listen to it like from the beginning to the end, and I'm not going to be always able to do that because it was a longer. How many songs was it?
Like 16.
Yeah, well, it was a regular. I guess
But-
it's
but-
like normal.
No, but the songs it's like an hour long. Project.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
So I'm
it's
not going to be
it's
able
a
to.
full length project, like
Right,
an old
right,
school,
right.
like full length.
Yeah,
project.
that's what I mean. Like it's like an actual album.
Yeah.
So I'm not always going to be able to do that, and I'm also not always going to be in the mood. Sometimes I want to hear ratchet shit, so
Yeah.
I have to put that in. I have to account for that as well.
You know, hear niggas acting like they got a lot of money even though they don't own any of their masters. Right?
It's fun. But when I want to hear this, I'm getting this. I'm getting Kendrick because he ain't doing shit. So I'm gonna just put this on, and I'm a vibe to it. So I give it a 9. And I'm in this mood a lot.
Right.
So, like at work, I'm not listening to ratchet shit. I would more so listen to something like this. So I give it a 9.
I give it a 9 also. It's a lot of songs on here that I like. Even though I didn't even know a lot of these songs were on this album. Like, cause I heard a lot of songs that are on this album.
I think
probably
I heard
about,
maybe like 4 or 5.
Probably about 7 to 8 out of the songs. Like I maybe heard them in the club or heard them around somebody else at least once, and I liked them. And I definitely am going to go back to this album multiple times. I already have. You know, I kind of wish now I've been heard this album.
I know.
Because I'm a little late. I'm a little late with it, but like at the same time, I don't care. This is a classic. This is going to go down as a classic album. So it ain't gonna be no right or wrong time to listen to this album. This is gonna be a classic album. It already seems like it was Grammy nominated and everything, and it already seems like it's going down as a classic album. I know it came out in 2000. This is a 2-year anniversary of it, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me that this seemed like it's gonna be a classic album. So yeah, I gave it a 9 for the replay value. Let's go add up these scores.
Okay.
And we'll be right back and let you know the final score. All right, we are back and we got the final score for you. Final score for Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap. Gonna give it a 9.6.
It's the highest rating thus far.
Yes.
This is history.
This is the biggest boss
in
that
the
you've
making.
seen thus far. Alright. How'd y'all feel about this album? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know your final score in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget
That the
to
marathon
stay black and the marathon continues. See y'all later.
Peace.